Hey everybody, it's Will with Spectra at the Oshawa Airport, which is the first time I've ever said that, but it also marks the first stop of our Touch a Truck on the Road tour. So stay tuned, see what vehicle we're exploring today. There may even be a surprise cameo, so check it out.
Hi, I'm Jeff Williams with the Durham Regional Police Service. I'm one of the tactical flight officers for Air One.
And my name is Mike Dotting, one of the pilots with Air One. Okay, yes, this is a Bell Jet Ranger, Bell 206.3. It's built in 2003. Durham Police bought it, brand new from the factory. It's got around 13,000 flight hours on it, but it doesn't really get a hard life like other helicopters that go on the bush. It's a very capable aircraft, very reliable. And, it's equipped with a lot of good equipment for night operations. And we can chase up to about 185, 198 kilometers an hour. If we had to, we'd talk about 10,000 feet, but we need that on a regular basis.
And what's the typical range that you guys are flying when you're patrolling or doing overwatch?
We can do pretty much the entire Durham region in about an hour.
I didn't know this, Mike, but you're actually not a police officer. You're a pilot that is contracted by DRPS?
That's correct.
So we do have police officers who are also pilots in their private life, but for the purposes of Air One, we have a civilian company that provides pilots and it provides engineers that look after our aircraft. So there's no police officers flying Air One, but there's a police officer as the tactical flight officer always in Air One, working with our partner who is the pilot.
Roughly, how much does a helicopter cost? Or does it depend on the model?
Depends on the model.
Similar like a car,
There's so
right?
many
There's
factors. You're talking millions of dollars for
millions, okay.
and that's just for the helicopter, not including all the special.
All the equipment and stuff that you guys have too. Are there a lot of different variations when it comes to different types of helicopters? Obviously, this one here is more for patrolling. There's the Ornge helicopter and like you mentioned already, like the Bush helicopters and stuff like that. Like, what are the big variances between different ones like that?
This helicopter's been like a staple of the Canadian, helicopter aviation industry since the 1960s, when it was first introduced. And it does everything from, or it has over the years, forest firefighting, mineral geological surveying, just transporting people. You name it, they've done it with it over the years.
This is a light observation helicopter. We don't need a helicopter with 2 engines, things like that really drive up the price and have capabilities like flying out over water, like what you see the Canadian military doing search and rescue over the water. You need things like 2 engines for that. We don't do those types of things, so to keep the costs down and to keep what they spend to have this program, it just keeps it a lot more affordable by having an aircraft like this, which is perfect for the job that we want to have done.
Tell me about some of the equipment then within the actual unit itself. How are those kind of beneficial for the police force in terms of offering the services that you guys do?
So in the front of the helicopter, we have a Westcam MX-10. It's a thermal imaging platform. It has a daytime camera, it has a low light camera, and it has a thermal imaging system as well. It has a sensor on the front there. That's what lets us see heat on the screen inside the helicopter. So when we're searching for a missing person or someone fleeing the police at nighttime, it can be pitch dark where we look down and we check the ground. We can actually see someone that's trying to hide or someone that needs rescuing because they'll glow white hot for us. And on the back of the helicopter here, we have our night sun, and it's 30 million candle power. So when we're flying at nighttime, we can have the night sun on, and both myself and Mike can operate the night sun from the front. We can point it, we can widen the beam, we can narrow the beam, and fly around.
as a pilot, you're obviously making sure that you guys are staying where you need to go. What's kind of the job of the TFO while you're up there?
One of the things we've determined in Durham is really two very different jobs when we're operating together. Mike obviously flying aircraft, making sure we're safe and we're abiding by all the rules. And I'm the passenger, the TFO. What I'm doing is I'm speaking with communications, I'm talking to the officers on the ground, and I am operating the thermal camera or the daytime camera and keeping watch of the radio calls.
What are some of the main benefits that a helicopter brings to Durham Regional Police? Because I know not all police services have helicopters in their jurisdictions. So what are some of the main benefits that the helicopter brings for Durham Region?
I'd say one of the biggest ones we have by having this helicopter is our searching capabilities. Studies have shown that one two-person helicopter, similar to what we have here, is the equivalency of having 15 two-person police cars on the road. So when we're talking about looking for somebody, someone possibly with dementia or Alzheimer's wandered away out into a field, or an impaired driver, we can so quickly and easily just point the thermal camera down, or in the daytime just look out the window, and we can quickly clear an entire field, go up and down the street, and start looking for neighborhoods for impaired drivers so much more quickly than someone on the ground just able to do.
What's kind of the craziest call that you guys have been called out for?
So some of the more exciting calls we've been on are pursuits. We've had pursuits throughout the region. Starting in Durham, we've gone all the way from here to the airport, Pearson Airport, all the way up to 400, following impaired drivers, people that committed crimes and are trying to flee. As soon as we have the eye, the pursuit's terminated, we're able to continue following and find out where they're going until there's a safe place for the suspect that decides that they're going to stop driving the vehicle, they're going to park it, they're going to be able to find them that way, and then bring in the police once that's happened. So someone that's winged the police that's running red lights, driving into oncoming traffic on the wrong side of the road, we can get around all of that by having the helicopter, because once they don't believe they're being followed anymore by a police car, generally they try and blend in, so the driving becomes a lot more safer.
So if people think that, oh, the cops have no idea that this person's doing this, it's potential that you guys are watching from above and you're just trying to keep everybody safer than showing the lights going.
Yeah, there's a time for to have that police presence, but there's a time for someone that's not going to stop for the police, that's going to drive dangerously and potentially injure or kill somebody else on the roadway. We're able to stand back, we're able to monitor that from the air and direct police resources in when it's safe to do so. A lot of the calls we go to are impaired drivers, a lot of missing persons, be it someone with mental health issues that we have to help find, or someone with, like I said, Alzheimer's or dementia that's wandered away. We'll get calls for suspicious persons, suspicious vehicles. We'll go check the area. Someone's stealing from a contractor site, all the housing development going on here. Someone's there at nighttime trying to steal. We'll go interdict those people and follow them. They're trying to hide. We get a lot of those calls for robberies, for all those types of calls, armed persons, reports of someone. We get lots of people that are reporting that they've heard gunfire. And one of the benefits is sometimes we're in the air for those, and we've seen the fireworks already going off, so we're able to help still attend the area and make sure, but by us visually seeing that, we can definitely walk back to the resources being dedicated to something like that.
All right, this one's for you, Mike. In your opinion, this might get you in trouble with some other pilots, but what's easier to fly, a helicopter or a plane?
So we'll get me in my experience, I've known quite a few helicopter pilots that get in an airplane and relatively speaking fly it. Not as many pilots that can hop in a helicopter and say the same thing.
Fair enough. Is it a lot more finesse with hovering and
Once you're
laterals?
cruise, it's not too bad. It's the hovering and the maneuvering around at slow speed. It takes a lot more. Both feet, both hands, the same time. It's kind of like standing on a ball, back your tummy, and replicating at the same time.
Okay. It's a good analogy. So when I was a kid, they would always tell us not to use those laser pointers to shoot at planes or helicopters. Is that an actual thing, or is that just a myth?
Yeah, that's real. Please don't do that. It's both dangerous for us in the helicopter and other people flying around. It's also very illegal. One of the dangers could obviously be, depending on the power of the laser, is injuring our eyes. But when we're flying around at nighttime, it's very dark up here, and when a super bright light hits us, it could temporarily cause our pilot to have flash blindness, and he'd be very likely to lose his ability to see out the aircraft, and he could lose his ability to see the ground properly, which could cause us to essentially crash.
So that's all the questions. Thanks again, guys, for letting us come out to check out this awesome helicopter.
Thanks very much. Thanks for coming out and seeing us.
So that marks our first stop of Touch a Truck on the Road tour. So if you liked what you saw today, have ideas for what other vehicles you want us to explore that typically wouldn't make it onto site at the TCC, send us a comment, send us an email, whatever you like, but let us know what vehicles you want to see on the next edition of Touch a Truck on the Road.